Yeah, that El Clasico played out just like I said, right? CLG over TSM, the faith shall be rewarded. That's what I said in the last video, right? TSM, they'll bounce back here and get themselves a victory in yet another chapter of El Clasico. Right? All right, look, it wasn't just me. Upset weekend was crazy. I wasn't the only one that got all the predictions wrong. Look at all the other pundits. They all got them wrong, all right? So we're going to bounce back here. You can't have a comeback story without hitting some bumps on the road. Unfortunately, the bumps on the road for me were 0-4. We're back. Predictions for week number 7. All right, so I thought TSM over CLG would be my lock of the week. Wasn't lock enough, so let's come back to a team that has always performed, except maybe Summer last split, but I think they're going to get it back together. It's Cloud9 over Immortals. Immortals has dropped 3 games in a row. They look shaken and shaky. And I think Cloud9 know they need to get themselves back into gear. Specifically, Perks needs to put on his carry pants, man. Like, just funnel the resources into Perks. Again, Blabber hasn't looked great because a lot of the situations that he's used to playing aggressive, where his laners can come support him, hasn't been the case quite yet. So I think it's up to Perks here, and I think Perks has a good matchup against Insanity. Again, Insanity, the mid laner from North America that I think has the highest potential out of the local mid laners, but Perks is Perks, and I think he's just gonna, flip the switch. So Cloud9 over Immortals as my lock of the week. But after that, I don't know if you can call it an upset, but I'm going to call it upset. Upset of the week is the game right after that one on Friday. FlyQuest Academy, the youngins that have bumped on up to the top level of pro play and then have gone 3 in a row. Answered the question, what would happen if the best Academy team came up to the LCS and played some of those bottom teams? Well, they went 3-0. They beat Cloud9, who's not one of the bottom teams, and now, hopefully, we'll be able to continue to replicate that against TSM. Yes, I have FlyQuest over TSM as the upset pick of the week. Mark it down. TSM has looked shaky, even in their victory against Golden Guardians last week. It was very close to losing as well, so FlyQuest, they're in form. They don't know any better. They're just gonna win. Saturday, we got a big one. TL versus 100 Thieves. I've loved watching this matchup all throughout the year, but now, will we get Alfari in the lineup? Jenkins still played last week. Alfari got a little bit of games here, but this is a big one. I think they put Alfari back on in. We're gonna have a top lane matchup between 2 of the best in North America. Let's see how it goes. I still think 100 Thieves train is still chugging along. Yes, they did drop a game last week, but against this empowered Team Liquid squad, it's gonna bring the best out of 100 Thieves, and they're going to continue to solidify their place in first place. And then at this point, interesting matchup here, FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses. Given that FlyQuest will beat TSM and Evil Geniuses will take care of business against Golden Guardians, these will be the teams with the longest winning streaks playing against each other on Saturday. Yes, I love the story of FlyQuest, kids. I love the fact that we've got Triple bringing his OCE swag onto the top stage, but Evil Geniuses look like a transformed team, don't they? We've hit it so many times over the broadcast. Jizuke no longer looks like a streamer. He's found a way to pull back his craziness enough that allows the rest of his team to close out the game. And Danny has looked fantastic. Yes, I know, big meme, but for real, he's looked great. Rookie of the split by far. Don't know how many rookies that we have here, but also looks like a candidate for all pro bot laner. He has been a big difference maker for Evil Geniuses because he doesn't need resources to still go out and make those plays. Against FlyQuest, you got yourself a great bot lane with a lot of potential. Diamond, the anchoring factor for young Frank Tomo down there. It's going to be a hell of a matchup, but I'm going to give this one to Evil Geniuses and ending the beautiful run that the young FlyQuest squad has made up until this point. All right, Sunday, here it is, our game of the week. And again, not this one. We're like, this one. You know what I mean. CLG versus Immortals. Up until this point, I believe Immortals are going to drop both of their games. I think CLG will have an opportunity, but again, Cloud9, Team Liquid, those are 2 damn good teams. I also think CLG will drop those games. But of course, we got to talk about the change in the mid lane. It's Tanner time, and the way that this team will work is that Tanner will continue to do what he always does, which is hold his lane and find opportunities to roam to accentuate the other pieces on that roster. When I look at that, Pobelter is known as a carry, and he has carried that CLG roster for quite some time, even to the point where he's benched and came back, and then benched again and came back, right? But I think that Damonte can help unlock your top laner in Finn. I think Broxa has played well on this roster. Again, being a facilitator, but when all the lanes needed resources, made it a little bit tougher. Now with Damonte there to help Turtle do his job. That's what Turtle's great at doing. He's great at doing his job and playing slightly more aggressive than what you're normally used to, making a couple of those pop-off plays. If you have Damonte there to create a numbers advantage, it changes the complexion of this team. Galio is now going to be viable. Kiana is going to be viable. All the drafts that you have played prior to this one against CLG go out the window because it's not the same 100 Thieves roster that you could just use and say, hey, this is what we banned when Damonte was on 100 Thieves. And it's not the old CLG roster where it's like, hey, press R and we win kind of thing either. So although Gilhoto is one of the best drafters in the game, Immortals are struggling. They got to be the next team that makes a change if they want to make that playoff push into the upper bracket. It seems like they've got the lower bracket locked in unless they have an abysmal closing out of these last 9 games. But I do think the misery continues here. I think CLG, with the power of Tanner Time, facilitating around the map and accentuating the carries in both the bot lane in Turtle and the top lane in Finn, will get themselves off the losing streak and into the win column to close out Sunday. All right, I know I went 0-4 last week, but who's keeping track? We can keep track of this week. So this week, I've got Cloud9 over Immortals, stopping their little bit of a skid and starting their playoff form in the final round robin of our triple round robin. And then I've got FlyQuest upsetting TSM. The youngins won't know what's better or what. No one will know what's good for them, and they'll win yet another game and continue that streak. Then on Saturday, I got ourselves the matchup of the day: 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. 100 Thieves taking that one home. It's just been a great form of a team, as well as I think they're going to have to raise the quality of their matchup because Alfari should be in this one. And then the FlyQuest stream slows down here against Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses will hit double digits in their win streaks there at 10 games as they take care of FlyQuest. And then on Sunday, the game of the week, it's CLG taking care of business against Immortals. Immortals will drop to 0-6 in their last 2 weeks. That is what I have predicted. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.